like a ghost in my mind. I can't escape you. I need to believe it was right letting you go, 'cause you are like a ghost in my mind. I wanna escape you, but I do not believe it was right letting you go. I can't stand the thought of losing you. Tell me, do you think of me too? 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it breaks my heart. You're still here though we're apart. I'm seeing your face in my dreams. I can't escape you. Like a movie on repeat, the scenes just go on. I'm hearing your voice in my dreams. I wanna escape you. I really think I made a big mistake. I want you to know I can't stand the thought of losing you. Tell me, do you think of me too? 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it breaks my heart. You're still here though we're apart. Don't tell me it's over now. Don't tell me it's over now. Don't tell me it's over now. Don't tell me it's over. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it breaks my heart. You're still here though we're apart.
Hello, hello, bonsoir tout le monde. Bienvenue sur Chanel Josam. Donc, Job annonce Jou Delivrans là. Est-ce que ça va le faire? C'est Jou Delivrans là jeudi. Entendre monsieur parler pour nous et on regarder. Nous juste là pour nous regarder qui j'ai marqué là pour réagir. Donc après, nous font parler de stock et un peu parler qui impact ça a gagné et possible et ça les et I mean est-ce que l'autre compagnie l'autre pays va pas le répondre on garder on font temps pour garder ça monsieur Palti.
Dreams, I can't escape you. Like a movie on repeat, the scenes just go on. I'm hearing your voice in my dreams. I wanna escape you. I really think I made a big mistake. I want you to know I can't stand the thought of losing you. Tell me, do you think of me too? 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it kills
Ok. Donc, monsieur commencé, il dit jeudi à c'est jour de délivrance là, c'est jour pour faire America wealthy again. Donc, et pour copyright, je ne peux pas faire entendre audio, mais en tout cas, je vais un résumé de ça le dire.
Letting you go, 'cause you were like a ghost in my mind. I wanna escape you, but I do not believe it was right. Letting you go, I can't stand the thought of losing you. Tell me, do you think of me too? 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it kills me. No, it was a mistake letting you go. 'Cause every song just reminds me of you and it breaks my heart. You're still here though we're apart.
Reciprocal tariffs on countries
Seeing
throughout
your
the world
face in my dreams,
that means they
I
put
can't
us
escape you.
to them. Very
Like a
simple. Can't
movie
get
on
any simpler
repeat,
than that.
the scenes just go on. I'm
This is one of
hearing
the
your
most
voice in
important
my
days, in
dreams.
my
I
opinion,
wanna
in American
escape you.
history.
I
It's our
really
declaration
think
of
I made a
economic
big
independence.
mistake. I
For
want
years,
you to
hardworking
know
American
I can't
citizens were
stand
forced to
the
sit on the
thought
sidelines
of
as
losing
other
you.
nations got rich and powerful, much of
Tell
it
me,
at
do
our
you
expense.
think of
But
me
now it's
too?
our turn to prosper, and in
'Cause
so
every
doing, use
song just
trillions and trillions of
reminds me
dollars to
of
reduce our
you and
taxes
it
and pay down our
kills me.
national debt, and
No,
it'll all
it
happen
was a
very quickly.
mistake
With today's action, we are finally
letting
going
you
to
go.
be
'Cause
able to
every
make
song
America
just
great again,
reminds
greater
me
than ever
of you
before.
and it breaks my heart. You're still here though we're apart.
Jobs and factories will come roaring
Tell
back
me
into
it's
our country, and you see it happening
over
already. We
now.
will supercharge our
Please
domestic
tell me
industrial
it's
base. We will pry open foreign
over
markets and break down foreign trade
and
barriers.
tell
And
me it's
ultimately, more production at home will
over
mean stronger competition
now.
and lower prices for
Please tell
consumers.
me it's
This will
over
be indeed the golden age of America. It's coming back. We're going to come back very strongly.
now.
We're pleased to be joined on this momentous occasion by Vice President J.D. Vance. J.D., thank you.
Every song just reminds me of you and it
What are you,
kills
J.D.?
me. No, it
Well,
was a
that
mistake
wasn't too hard to
letting
find.
you go. 'Cause
I was looking,
every
he
song
likes to take
just
a low key attitude, so
reminds
usually
me
we sit right
of
in
you
front. He's
and
gaining
it
a lot of
breaks
confidence by
my
his day.
Hmm.
And nearly my entire cabinet is here, as well as Speaker Mike Johnson, who's done an amazing job. And with the great success we had last night in Florida, we have a majority of 7. And 7's like a lot, but we had it at 1, right? You've done a fantastic job. And many of the members of the House and Senate are with us. Senators, Congressmen, thank you all for being with us. We appreciate it. For decades, the United States slashed our trade barriers on other countries, while those nations placed massive tariffs on our products and created outrageous non-monetary barriers to decimate our industries. And in many cases, the non-monetary barriers were worse than the monetary ones. They manipulated their currencies, subsidized their exports, stole our intellectual property, imposed exorbitant VAT taxes to disadvantage our products, adopted unfair rules and technical standards, and created filthy pollution havens. They were absolutely filthy, but they always came to us and they said, we're violating, we should pay for it. It's all detailed in a very big report by the U.S. Trade Representative on foreign trade barriers. And I'll just hold it up for you. It's available.
En attendant, monsieur parle en pile là et qui ça n'a trade. Est-ce que nous gain trade nous besoin de garder ensemble, comme qu'on est pour nous garder ensemble. Je regarde un trade qui est vraiment intéressant, c'est dans Lulu.
Let me offer just a few examples of the vicious attacks workers have faced States charges other countries only a 2.4 tariff on motorcycles. Meanwhile, Thailand and others are charging much higher prices, like 60%. India charges 70%. Vietnam charges 75%, and others are even higher than that. Likewise, until today, the United States has for decades charged a 2.5 tariff. Think of that, 2.5% on foreign-made automobiles. The European Union charges us more
What the heck was that?
10% tariffs, and they have 20% VATs, much higher. India charges 70%, and perhaps worst of all are the non-monetary restrictions imposed by South Korea, Japan, and very many other nations as a result of these colossal trade barriers. 81% of the cars in South Korea are made in South Korea. 94% of the cars in Japan are made in Japan. Toyota sells 1 million foreign-made automobiles into the United States, and General Motors sells almost none.
Okay.
None of our companies are allowed to go into other countries. And I say that friend and foe. And in many cases, the friend is worse than the foe in terms of trade.
All
But such
right.
horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these other countries at all for this calamity. I blame former presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen, and they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe. That's
Okay,
why, effective
now-
at midnight, we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles.
Ok, donc, ça nous déconne déjà 25% pour machine qui fait dehors.
I just see him sitting. He's been a fan of ours, and he understands this business a lot better than the economists, a lot better than anybody. Brian, say a few words, please. Thank you. It's a great honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I grew up just north of Detroit, Michigan, in Macomb County, known as the home of the Reagan Democrats. My first vote for president was Ronald Reagan. I thought that was going to be the best president I ever saw in my lifetime until Donald J. Trump came along. I have watched my entire life, I have watched plant after plant after plant in Detroit and in the metro Detroit area close. There are now plants sitting idle. There are now plants that are underutilized. And Donald Trump's policies are going to bring product back into those underutilized plants. There's going to be new investment. There's going to be new plants built. And the UAW members, I brought 20 of them with me. They're sitting right over here. We support Donald Trump's policies on tariffs 100%. So, Mr. President, we can't thank you enough. And in 6 months or a year, we're going to begin to see the benefits. I can't wait to see what's happening 3 or 4 years down the road. Thank you, Mr. President.
Regarde, là, c'est un...
What a great guy. He got it right from the beginning. He got it before almost anybody else. This group over there.
Ha,
got it.
c'est un...
You know, we won the state of Michigan. We won,
C'est un bot offer.
but we won Michigan.
Il a
by a
parlé
lot.
des
And I'm
gens
just
policiers à
thankful.
implémenter, qui a fait payer à
Fantastic.
grande. Ah,
Everyone was
en attendant 25%, so tout est déjà comme ça déjà.
You're going to be very happy very soon, and you probably see what's happening with all of the, not only car companies, but car companies in particular.
Like, nous besoin qu'on kill le tarif là, mais n'est pas en pile comme ça.
They're announcing day in, day out. You're seeing it. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. With today's actions, we're also standing up for our great farmers and ranchers who are brutalized by nations all over the world. Brutalized. Canada, by the way, imposes a 250 to 300% tariff on many of our dairy products. They do the first can of milk. They do the first little carton of milk at a very low price, but after that it gets bad, and then it gets up to 275, 300%. So when they're figuring what's Canada charging, they say, oh, about 2%, 3%. But take a look at what happens down the road. When you look a little bit, it's not a pretty picture, and we don't like it, and it's not fair. It's not fair to our farmers. It's not fair to our country. And with countries like Canada, you know, we subsidize a lot of countries, keep them going and keep them in business. In the case of Mexico, it's $300 billion a year. In the case of Canada, it's close to $200 billion a year. And I say, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I mean, at what point do we say, you got to work for yourselves, and you got to? This is why we have the big deficits. This is why we have that amount of debt that's been placed on our heads over the last number of years, and we're really not taking it anymore. Through non-tariff barriers, the European Union bans imports of most American poultry. You understand? They say, we want to send you our cars, we want to send you everything, but we're not going to do anything.
Et
Australia bans
donc jusqu'à présent, nous ka ouais, Jou Delivrans là, il y a beaucoup bon market là un peu réagi un peu positif, mais comme ça veut dire pour Kounia. Jou Delivrans là, il beaucoup buy tout détail sur Jou Delivrans là. Donc est-ce qu'on a délivré vrai? Donc nous pouvons connaître. En attendant, din qui ou même bonne commande, bonne idée pour din qui soit avancé des Jou Delivrans. Ici,
once we got involved and we're going through the sky, the egg prices, they were going through the sky, and you did a fantastic job. Now we have lots of eggs, and they're much cheaper down, about 59% now, and they're going down further. We charge 2.8% for some.
ça qu'a fait la Stainville en forme.
200, 300%, and 400%.
Donc nous t'attendons.
Imposing tariffs.
Nous sommes là pour regarder ça, M. Paul dit sur Jou Delivrans là, on va vraiment gagner un sérieux. Donc, on regarde quelques stocks, on va regarder toujours. Donc, semble les gagnent 10% et tarif standard sur tout pays qui a fait business avec les États-Unis. Je m'intéresse avec trade ça. Est-ce que je peux en retard là-dedans? Ah, Ledo. C'est depuis là que je rentré dans trade là. Si je retourne dans la zone 43. Ok, si affaire me retourner dans la zone ça, je pense à entrer là-dedans. Je ne pas mettre sur le jeu, mais zone 44 fixe, je vais rentrer dans l'affaire pour un possible $50. Pour me 53 $. Mais ça un bel mouvement le fait aujourd'hui, je raté depuis dans la zone ça comme nous allons là. Donc, on toujours. Donc, hier, mon market là réagi un peu positif. Nous va comme ça encore les dit. But qui pas mal, but nous-mêmes et trader, il y a une vision bail positif. But quand monsieur parle en pile là, il va pas dire sérieux après ça. Jusqu'à présent, on seul bail l'idée après ça qu'on est riche encore d'autres. Okay. Jesus. Il répétait ça about 50 fois déjà. Ça veut dire même bagay. Donc, donc, il n'y a pas qui va le gagner. Est-ce que mon yo est-ce que l'autre pays va le fight back? Si l'autre pays fight back, c'est le ça bagay a vin en gens aggraver les choses. Anyway, c'est mon capable de consommer toujours pour le payer prix. Jesus. He still a parler de Joe Biden. Oh my God, that's crazy. This is crazy.
$2 trillion, which is unheard of. Since the beginning of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made. It was a horror show. I was able to determine it. They all said you'd never be able to get it out. We had to get approval from Congress to get it terminated. We had to live with that deal. It was the worst trade deal ever made by far. But since the very beginning of NAFTA, our country lost 90,000 factories. Think of what that is, 90,000. Think about putting a map up and putting tax on it. You wouldn't have enough room. 90,000. I said, is that possible? We had it checked 4 different times, and it was actually somewhat higher than that. And 5 million manufacturing jobs were lost while racking up trade deficits of $19 trillion. That was the worst trade deal ever made. As a result of these gigantic losses, foreign nations
Okay.
now own $6 trillion more of American assets than American. Think of this, that the Americans own of their own foreign assets or other foreign assets. The United States can no longer produce enough antibiotics to treat our sick. We have a tremendous problem.
It's not antibiotic. Antibiotic is not antibiotic.
We import virtually all of our computers, phones, televisions, and electronics. We used to dominate the field, and now we import it all from different countries. A single shipyard in China now produces more ships every year than all of the American shipyards combined. Think of that. And it was a business that we used
Okay,
to
en attendant,
totally. Ensured chronic trade
I'm
deficits
doing
and
some scalping right now on NASDAQ, but it's crazy. Okay, donc
starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations. It's been a long time since we even thought of that. We used to think about it a lot. We didn't think about it for many decades. Now you see what's happened. For nations that treat us badly, we will calculate the combined
ça qu'a fait d'Haïti dans forme, non forme.
monetary barriers and other forms of cheating.
Neck.
We are being very kind. We're kind people. Very kind. You're not so kind when you get these my auto worker friends and my Teamster friends, all of the unions that typically voted Democrat. They're not voting Democrat anymore because worker, whether union or not,
All right.
Republicans now. That's what happened.
Donc,
Have approximately half of what they are and have been charged now. So
guys, an campé live là parce que c'est même plein yo, c'est même bagay élection. Ici a parlé, m'a font résumé sur ça plus tard. Parce que les c'est même bagay élection et qui est-ce qui va voter démocrate. Donc, on ne pas perdre du temps puis on m'a retrouvé nous plus tard pour un résumé de ça qui t'est passé. Ciao. M'pa vle perdre, m'pa vle nous gaspiller temps. Bye bye.